Start off our show today with a request for Takbir. That song's called SMA 3, or is it SMA 3? That's how you spell it. Band from Morocco. It's a request to start off our show, here called Punk Rock Demonstration. I'm Jack, and We Bombed Iran was the headline on Saturday. Surprise attack, and I'm sure the entire world was not ready for it. Very strategic, I think. Trump telling the world, oh, I'll make a decision within 2 weeks, and kabam! Surprise. So, yep, I don't know how I feel about that, and I think the entire world is still trying to figure that out. Very strategic, and I'm going to get myself in trouble if I go into the politics of that, so I'll just continue with Punk Rock Demonstration being punk rock and not politics. Everyone today's got their overly opinionated opinions, and if it doesn't align with theirs, then it's kind of a problem. So with that, I'll keep my opinions to myself for everyone's sake. So yes, we start off our show today with a request for that Moroccan band that I can't pronounce, and you could make requests also by going to punkrockdemo.com. Again, that's punkrockdemo.com. I've got some thematic songs, I guess, and it's July 4th in a week or so, maybe 2 weeks, and I've got some songs about that too. Not sure if this July 4th is going to be good fireworks or bad fireworks or a combination. I guess we'll find out soon because that's just around the corner. And I've survived a near-death experience, I guess. I was riding my motorcycle in a parking lot, and this woman in a red Tesla almost ran me over. She saw me coming, or maybe she didn't see me coming, I don't know. But she did one of those tap and go on the stop sign kind of things, where you've got the main road and then you've got a stop sign before that main road, the main road not having any stop signs. Well, she just tapped at the stop sign and then just went for it. I don't know if she saw me coming, but almost hit me by an inch, almost touched me if I wouldn't have swerved. But not sure if the Tesla stopped her from crashing into me, or she just stomped on the brakes after she realized that she was about to murder me. But yeah, she went full speed ahead after the stop sign, and then the car just suddenly screeched to a stop, avoided killing me. Either that or the Tesla decided that it wanted to murder me and then changed its mind, or the driver decided that they didn't want to murder me just yet. So yes, that was a crazy experience also on top of the Iran bombing. Enough with that politics and all this non-punk rock stuff. Let's take a listen to some punk rock. Here's an appropriate song for our dilemma nowadays. I'll play a song by Space Age Zeros now. This song's called Fireworks.
Flags and stomping feet, parade rolls by to a great big get fucked every day. You get fucked every day. You get fucked every day. Common people like you get fucked every day. Don't be offensive, or are you chronically offended? 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 You get fucked every day. You get fucked every day. You get fucked every day. Common people like you get fucked every day. In this unhinged world, this ain't look crazy. Go find the keyboard, cause trolling's lazy. If it's not funny, just leave it be. Fuck your trigger warning, or you'll never be free. You get fucked every day. You get fucked every day. You get fucked every day. Common people like you get fucked every day. Don't be offensive, or are you chronically offended? 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 Jump off your high horse, you don't always need a say. Cause people that act like you get fucked every day. 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 Common people like you get fucked every day. 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 Common people like you get fucked every day. Don't be offensive, or are you chronically offended? Don't be offensive, or are you chronically offended? Don't be offensive, or are you chronically offended? Don't be offensive, or are you chronically offended?
Heard the Briefs there with You Can Move Me. We did an interview with the Briefs about 5 months ago, end of 2024, and heard 4 Minute Warning before the Briefs with Dead and Gone, The Revolt with Cultural Cancellation before 4 Minute Warning, and heard Rom Beach with Gidget Goes to Hell. You're still listening to the Punk Rock Demonstration. We're here every Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Time over at punkrockdemo.com. Again, that's punkrockdemo.com. Let's play some Unseen now. This song's called Stand Up and Fight.
Stand up!
And that was Tower Blocks with Mayday. Very appropriate songs for today's show. Grizzly Adams Band with Waste Another Day. And Heard the Goods with Eyes of Satan before Grizzly Adams Band. And Angelic Upstarts with Like Father, Like Son. I usually play a different song by Angelic Upstarts, but I figured I'd play a different song because of the current situation. If you're familiar with the song I usually play, let's not go there. Let's take a listen to some more punk rock here in the punk rock demonstration. Let's continue with Dog Company. This song's called Wait for the Blood.
And you know it could happen again. I've been thinking back to God, the mental this week. No one starts to shine, but I can't even see. I've been so cold and I'm feeling like dying. Can't believe I've given up and not even trying. And you say it's done and it's over. It was only for one night, but you're making me feel so cheap. Don't you know that I'm not that kind of guy? And you say it just won't do it. And you say we're just good friends, but you know it happened once, and you know it could happen again. When you tell me I was special and I was borderline, took what you wanted but you won't get in mine. Now I'm down and desperate, can't you give me a hand? Tell me I'm in more than just a one night stand. And you say it's done and it's over. It was only for one night, but you're making me feel so cheap. Don't you know that I'm not that kind of guy?
And that was the Shits with Bon Voyage, and some Channel 3 with You Make Me Feel Cheap. The Stitches would Throw It All Away before Channel 3, all three of those bands from Orange County, California. And the Mahones was before the Stitches with Queen and Tequila, and Infected Youth with War, Freedom, or Death. Wonder how Infected Youth is doing. I used to manage that band for a brief period of time before the members moved away from each other and ended up breaking up because of the logistics. This was before the internet was more connected. This was the MySpace days. So if you weren't on MySpace, you weren't really connected. Nowadays, everyone's connected, and even if you want to break up the band, you can't because you can remotely record and all that stuff. Back then, it was quite difficult. So yes, I wonder how Infected Youth is doing. Should poke at them. But let's take a listen to some more punk rock for now. Let's take a listen to some Dog's Flesh. This song's called March of the Damned.
Just to fight and die.
That was Legendary Swagger with Beautiful Disaster. That describes the situation we're in currently in world affairs. Autogram with Why Do We Dance before Legendary Swagger. Heard some Hale Bob Astronauts before Autogram with Big Bucks, and the TV Dead with Get Out of the Way. By the way, you can send me stuff by going to punkrockdemo.com, stuff being like songs you want me to play, as in requests or songs of your band. I'll play those very shortly as in after the segment of music I'm going to play in a moment. Just recently got this Yage zine in the mail, in which you can find the mailing address at punkrockdemo.com. Again, that's punkrockdemo.com. It's nice that people are still making zines. This zine was made in June 2025, I believe. It's like a punk collective zine. Issue number 1, it says, and I just flipped the page over, July to November 2025. Haven't taken a deep look into it, but I'll take a look and see what's all about. Maybe I'll talk about it on the next show when I digest what's in it. There's a note included in that package saying to review it, but I don't really write reviews. But I do talk about stuff on the show, and I figured I'd talk about that on the show since it was in the mail. Yage zine, if you want to check it out on the Google, you can check that out with me. But since we can't see it on the radio, I'll play some more punk rock so you can hear the stuff on the radio. I want to play this next song by The Undead now, since it's summertime. The summer solstice was a couple days ago. Let's play Undead Summer.
Come on and get your company back and come riding with me. Cruise along the highway, heading down to the sea. So forget about those wintry blues. Ain't got nothing to lose. Come on and have an undead summer with me.
I got my casket loaded and I'm gonna go riding with you. It's gonna be a killer time no matter what we do. With my baby and a hot rod hearse, ain't nothing better in the universe. So come on and have an undead summer with me.
Gonna have a really wave.
With you and me riding the graves.
Gonna go body and surfing by the light of the moon. Come on and get your coffin packed and come riding with me. Cruise along the highway, heading down to the sea. From the Jersey
To
Shore,
Waikiki.
they're creeping down toward the sea.
So
Come on and have an undead summer with me. Gonna have a really wave.
with you and me riding the graves.
Gonna go body surfing by the light of the moon. So forget about the winter blues.
Ain't got nothing to lose.
Come on and have an undead summer with me. We're gonna be working up a sweat. This ain't no Frankie.
And a net.
So come on and have an undead summer with me. Yeah! So come on and have an undead summer with me.
The city streets are filled with peddlers and thieves. Out on the town to see how many they can please. As they kick my heels to pick up the pace, I walk and trip upon the cracks in the cement, and I'm not sure where I'm going to. And I'm not sure just who I ought to be. One thing's for sure, I'm not the worst of my enemies. They seem longer window, tired and afraid. I fixed the bar, the clock, 1 second tick away. Suffering in silence like tired hunted prey. Hoping at best just to make it to another day. And I'm not sure just where I'm going to. And I'm not sure just who I ought to be. One thing's for sure, I'm at the worst of my enemies. With no direction to be found, I live my life without compromise. Pissed away another day, 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 pissed away another day. Another roadblock, another door slammed shut, another day just pissed away. Pissed away.
Political power, leverage to wealth, socioeconomic status, soulless, unheartfelt, rich and richer, poor get poor. Rich and richer, poor get poor. I don't know the trust, who understand? I don't know the trust. Political power, leverage to wealth, socioeconomic status, soulless, unheartfelt, rich and richer, poor get poor. The rich and richer, poor get poor. I don't know the trust, the 1%. I don't know the trust, the 1%. I don't know the trust, the 1%. I don't know the trust. Methodology, volatility, leads to annihilation. It's a tragedy. How long can this go on? Wealth gap around the world. Rich get richer, poor get poor. The rich get richer, poor get poor. How long can this go on? I don't know the trust, the 1%. I don't know the trust.
Heard Pugilistics there with the 1%, Dead by Dawn with Parasites before Pugilistics, and then Negative Charge with Dark of the Night. That was before Dead by Dawn, and heard Vice Squad with No Room at the Top before Negative Charge, and some None Shall Sleep with Another Day. James Joyce, one of the members from None Shall Sleep, was also in The Undead, which I started off this segment of music with. He played in one of the live albums that The Undead released. So figured I'd put those two bands together, Undead and None Shall Sleep. You're still listening to the punk rock demonstration. We've got a little bit less than an hour left of the program, so let's take a listen to some new punk rock. But before that, Apathy Cycle with Trigger Warning.
Surrounded by an atmosphere of fear, the devastation's now much more severe. The innocent are being killed and in your profile face the bill. You'll see those flashes
weitergehen, es kann nicht immer so 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 weitergehen. Wir treffen uns auf dem Konzert am Bürgstag, kommst du mir immer näher. Auf der Isomatte lass ich dir ein bisschen Platz, aber es kann nicht immer so gehen, mein Schatz. Es kann nicht immer so weitergehen, es kann nicht immer so weitergehen, es kann nicht immer so weitergehen, es kann nicht immer so weitergehen. Es kann nicht immer so weitergehen, 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 es kann nicht immer so weitergehen.
That was some new Pogendroblem with the song I can't pronounce because it's in German. Es kann nicht immer so weitergehen, which in English translates to "It can't go on like this forever." And I heard the extras before Pogendroblem with The Firm, that band also from Germany. And both those bands from Rookie Records. Actually, Rookie Records sent that over. Zeta Plan was before the extras with California Way, and Double Fisted with Black Blood before the Zeta Plan. And right now we're listening to new songs that no one's ever heard of except for me and maybe a couple other people that are related to these bands. And you can send over songs if you're a band by going to punkrockdemo.com. I'm going to play some Shake Some now from Bordeaux, France. It's interesting how you spell Bordeaux, B-O-R-D-E-A-U-X. Would have never thought it would be Bordeaux unless you already knew that. But here's a song by Shake Some. The song's called Sweet Mary from Bordeaux, France.
You've been waiting for too long for some things that didn't count, just to remain from the past. After all the times you tried, after all the pain you had, I think you deserve a rest. Oh, Sweet Mary, I wish I went
shortstop, waiting for the pop again. Ford Mustang, suicide motor pool, a high school girl, smoking Super Cruise, and the boys are going swinging with their
Listen to the thunder, he's coming for you now. The master of deception, a cheater on the prowl. Time is of the essence, the king of the cliche. You better get ready now, or you might not get away. Yeah, sharp and twisted plan. Yeah,
And that was Thirsty Giants with Apathist, a live version, and that band from Minnesota. For Hate You 8 with Old Wounds before the Thirsty Giants. Heard some Kasem before For Hate You 8 with $1 Million Man. Pop Culture Icons with Razor Blades before Kasem, and All the Madmen with Suicide Motor Pool. And you've been listening to the Punk Rock Demonstration, my website, punkrockdemo.com. Again, that's punkrockdemo.com. We're here every Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Time. And the show repeats on Tuesdays from 7 a.m. until 9 a.m. Pacific time. All the other times you can listen to all the other shows 24 hours a day. And if you don't listen, you can go on the website, punkrockdemo.com, and read all about punk rock there. Find playlists, find featured bands, send over requests, send over whatever. Find everything punk rock. Even my punk rock documentary is on there called 21st Century Punk Rock, Volume 1 and 2. Still working on number 3. That's if the world still exists. But anyways, let's end off the show with another song by the Thirsty Giants. The song's called Gimme Rat Poison. I rarely play the same band twice on the show, but figured I'd play these guys because they sent over 2 emails with a couple songs each. So, yes. We'll take a listen to Thirsty Giants again, and I'll talk to y'all next week. Thanks for listening.
choose your poison.